What if everything you thought you knew about your cannabis ritual was only half the story? We've been taught it's about the strain, the potency, the method. We choose our tools and hope for the best, often ending up exactly where we didn't mean to, distracted, foggy, or still unsettled. But emerging science reveals a hidden truth. The most powerful ingredient in your session isn't in your grinder. It's in your mind. This poses a profound question. If cannabis is the key that unlocks your body's own systems for balance and perception, what is the lock? By the end of this, you will have the answer. You will see this plant not as something that does something to you, but as a tool you can actively shape. In that moment, before you light up, you will return to it not with hope, but with understanding. The journey from passive consumer to active architect starts now.
Why our rituals feel empty. You know the routine. Maybe it's the end of a long day. Your brain is still buzzing from everything. And almost without thinking, your hand reaches for the grinder. It's muscle memory. The sound of the teeth crushing the flower, the specific scent that hits the air. You pack your piece, maybe you roll one up, you spark it, and then what? You take that first familiar hit, the warmth, the expansion, the wave of initial sensation, but then your other hand is already moving. It's already picking up your phone, and you fall into the scroll, mindlessly flicking, image after image, reel after reel. An hour vanishes, and when you finally put the phone down, the high is fading, and a weird question pops into your head. Wait, did I even enjoy that? It's not that it was bad. The cannabis did its job. You feel different, but it's like you showed up to a concert and spent the whole time in the lobby, checking your email. You missed the main event. This isn't a you problem. This is a how we've been taught to consume problem. We treat this powerful, complex plant like it's a light switch, on or off, high or not high. But what does the science say? Cannabis research shows it's less like a light switch and more like a master key. It interacts with the most complex system in your body, your endocannabinoid system, which regulates everything from your mood and memory to how you feel pain and stress. When you consume without purpose, it's like you've been given that master key and you just use it to jiggle the lock on your back door. You're not even exploring the mansion. You're not unlocking the rooms labeled creativity or deep relaxation or focused connection. You're just standing in the hallway, scrolling on your phone. That faint feeling of anxiety that sometimes creeps in, that mental fog afterwards, research suggests that set and setting, your mindset and your environment are powerful determinants of your experience. Without a conscious mindset, without an intention, the amplified energy of the high has nowhere to go. It can just swirl. So that autopilot ritual, the grind, spark, scroll, isn't a break. It's just a different kind of noise. It's using one of the most sophisticated botanical tools on the planet to become a better couch potato. But what if you could change that? What if you could trade that hollow routine for something that actually fills you up? That's the shift we're going to make. And it starts by recognizing the pattern so we can finally break it. Beyond the buzz, cannabis as a key, not a destination. So, we've all felt it. That autopilot session, that grind, spark, scroll routine that leaves us feeling empty. But what if I told you that the problem isn't the plant? The problem is the perspective. We've been taught to ask one simple question. What will this do to me? It's a passive question. It puts you in the passenger seat, just waiting to see where the high takes you. And sometimes it takes you to anxiety town, or to the endless fields of mindless scrolling. But modern cannabis research invites us to flip the script entirely. It asks us to become the driver, to ask a new, powerful question. What can I do with this? Think about it. The compounds in cannabis, like THC and CBD, don't just randomly hijack your brain. That's an old, scary story. The science tells a much more fascinating one. These plant compounds are called phytocannabinoids, and they work because they're speaking the native language of your body's own endocannabinoid system. This system is a vast, master regulatory network. It's constantly working to keep your body in balance, a state known as homeostasis. It influences your mood, your memory, your appetite, how you feel pain, and how you manage stress. It's the reason you feel the way you feel. When you introduce plant cannabinoids, you're not turning on a light switch. You're giving this entire system a powerful, nuanced tool. You're amplifying its ability to do its job. But here's the crucial part. What job do you want it to do? Without direction, that amplified energy has no focus. It's like turning on a fire hose and just letting it flail around. It's powerful, but it's chaotic. It can amplify everything, including any stress or anxiety that's just sitting under the surface. That's where those negative experiences can come from. But with intention, you're not just turning on the hose, you're pointing it. You're directing that powerful, innate energy toward a specific purpose. This is the paradigm shift. This is the key. Cannabis isn't the destination. The high isn't the end goal. The feeling is the vehicle. It's the key that unlocks a different state of mind. But you decide which door that key unlocks. Your intention is the lock. Do you want to unlock the door to creative flow, to deep physical relaxation, to a more mindful connection with nature or music, to compassionate conversation with a partner? The research into set and setting shows us that your mindset, your intention, primed before consumption, is one of the single biggest factors in shaping your experience. It tells your endocannabinoid system, hey, let's focus here. Let's put our energy into this. It's the difference between handing a master chef a basket of the world's finest ingredients and just saying, cook, versus giving them a specific, beautiful recipe to follow. The ingredients are the same, the tools are the same, but the outcome is a masterpiece, not just a mess. So let's leave the old question in the past. What will this do to me? That question leads to the scroll. It leads to the fog. Let's step into our power and ask the new question, the question that transforms the entire ritual. What can I do with this? Your next session doesn't have to be another loop on autopilot. It can be a journey. And it all starts with deciding where you want to go.
The minute that changes everything. A step-by-step guide. So now we know the why. We know that cannabis is a key and our intention is the lock. We're moving from passenger to driver. But I can already hear the question. That sounds great, but how? How do I actually do it? It's the simplest part of this entire process, and yet it's the most profound. It takes less than a minute, but that 1 minute will redefine everything that comes after. This is your new ritual, your sacred tech. Step 1, the pause. Before you even touch your grinder, before you even open your jar, stop. Just for a moment. If you're standing, sit down. This is your first act of intention. You are consciously choosing to break the autopilot cycle we talked about in Chapter 1. You are switching off the muscle memory and switching on your mind. Step 2, the breath. Now close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Take 3 deep, slow breaths. In through your nose and out through your mouth. You're not trying to achieve enlightenment here. You're just doing one simple scientific thing. You're signaling to your nervous system that you are safe. You are present. You are moving out of doing mode and into being mode. This calms the body and prepares the mind, creating the optimal set for your session that research shows is so critical. Step 3, the ask. Here is the heart of the entire practice. Gently ask yourself one question. What do I truly need right now? Let the answers come without judgment. Don't force it. Just listen. The answer might be, I need to release the tension in my shoulders. It might be, I need to laugh and not take today so seriously. It might be, I need to connect with my creative ideas without my inner critic. Or, I need to just be still and feel peaceful. Remember, there is no right or wrong. This isn't about what you should need, it's about what you actually need. This is you consulting your own internal compass. Now take that need and turn it into a clear, positive, present tense statement. This is your intention, your command to the vehicle. Instead of, I don't want to be stressed, you say, I intend to release the tension of this day. Instead of, I want to be creative, you flip it. My intention is to feel safe, grounded, and at ease in my body. Do you see the power in that? You are using the plant's ability to amplify your internal state, your endocannabinoid system's role in regulating mood and perception, and you are giving it a clear, positive direction. You are programming the GPS for your journey. Now, and only now, do you prepare your cannabis, but you do it differently. That mindless grinding becomes a mindful act. You are infusing the plant with your purpose. As you pack your bowl or roll, you can quietly repeat your intention in your mind. You are not just preparing a substance, you are preparing for an experience. Then you consume. Hold that intention lightly in your mind as you take your first hit. You don't need to white-knuckle it or chant it like a mantra. That would create stress, the exact opposite of what we want. Just let it sit in the back of your mind, like the name of the town you're driving to. You know the destination. Now you can enjoy the ride. You might find your mind starts to wander. That's okay. That's what minds do. The intention isn't a cage for your thoughts. It's an anchor. When you feel yourself getting lost in the scroll or a spiral of thoughts, you can gently come back to your breath and remember your intention. Ah, yes, release. I intended to release. And just that simple remembering can guide you back. This is the practice. This is how you move from theory to action, from hoping the plant will do something to you to knowing what you will do with it. You are no longer just a user. You are a collaborator. You and the plant are about to co-create your experience. And it all starts with a single sacred minute.
Riding the wave. How to let your intention guide you. You've done it. You've paused. You've breathed. You've set a clear, powerful intention. Now, you take that first mindful hit. The experience begins to unfold. And this is where a lot of people get stuck. They think, okay, now I have to force myself to be creative or to relax. But that's not it at all. That's just another form of control. And control is the opposite of the receptive state that cannabis, by interacting with your endocannabinoid system, naturally promotes. Think of it like this. Your intention isn't a rigid set of instructions you have to painfully follow. It's not a job description for your high. It's a North Star. You don't force a ship to reach the North Star. You just set the course, adjust the sails to catch the wind, and trust the journey. The cannabis is the wind in your sails. Your intention is the star you're steering by. So, how do you actually do this? You lean into the science of set and setting. You created the perfect set, your mindset, with your intention. Now you tend to the setting. You curate your environment to support your goal. If your intention was creativity, maybe you have a notebook and pen already waiting instead of your phone. You're not forcing yourself to write a novel. You're just making it easy for that creative energy to find an outlet. You're opening a door and inviting it in. If your intention was deep relaxation, maybe you've already put on calming music and dimmed the lights. You're guiding your amplified sensory perception toward peace, not toward overstimulation. Here's the most important part. Your mind will wander. That's what minds do, especially with cannabis.
The plant compounds are enhancing neuroplasticity, literally making your brain more flexible with its connections and thoughts. You might have a brilliant idea that seems totally off topic. You might get distracted by a beautiful sound. That's not failure. That's the journey. When that happens, don't fight it, don't judge it, just gently guide yourself back. You can always return to your breath, that anchor we started with, and softly reconnect with your intention. Yes, connection. I intended to connect. And then see if that random thought does somehow connect. Often it does in ways you couldn't have planned. This is the art of collaboration. You are not a passive passenger anymore, like we talked about in Chapter 1, but you're not a rigid, micromanaging driver either. You're a co-pilot. You're working with the plant's ability to alter your perception and open new neural pathways. You set the destination, and then you allow the plant to show you the most interesting route to get there. You might find that an intention for relaxation leads you to a profound insight about what was causing your tension in the first place. That's the medicine working on a deeper level. You might find that an intention for creativity first takes you through a period of silly, joyful laughter that completely dismantles your inner critic. That is the creative process. Trust the process. Trust the plant. And most importantly, trust yourself. You have the key. You chose the lock. Now step inside and explore the room with curiosity, not a checklist. This is where the sacred intention transforms from a concept into a lived experience. This is where you stop just using cannabis and you start communing with it.
So we return to where we began. That moment. The grinder in your hand. That first hit. You started with one question. What will this do to me? But now you know the real question. The only question that matters. What will I create with this? That simple shift changes everything. You are no longer a passenger on this journey. You are the navigator, the architect. The plant is no longer just a substance. It's your collaborator. Your intention is the map. This changes more than just your session. It changes your relationship with your own mind. What if you approached every tool in your life with this kind of purpose, with this kind of power? You now hold the key. The question is, what door will you unlock next? If you're ready to keep exploring, to keep building these deeper rituals, you know where to find us. Subscribe and join a community that's redefining what it means to be conscious with cannabis. This is just the beginning. Stay lifted and stay intentional.